explore Umar ibn al-Khattab's Ra'i leadership and contributions to the Islamic world, discuss his reforms, his just rule, and his expansion of the Islamic empire, provide a summary of the lessons learned from his story, particularly his deep commitment to justice, his far-reaching influence, and his unyielding faith in Allah's guidance. Umar ibn al-Khattab Ra'i, one of the most prominent companions of Prophet Muhammad Salah, was born in Makkah around 584 CE to the Adi clan of the Quraysh tribe. Known for his strong character, Umar Ra'i initially opposed Islam and was a fierce adversary of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. However, his life changed dramatically when he embraced Islam in the 6th year of prophethood, marking the beginning of his transformation from an enemy of Islam to one of its most loyal and powerful defenders. Ummar's Araya acceptance of Islam was a turning point for the early Muslim community. His embrace of the faith gave the Muslims much needed strength, as he was a person of influence and stature. His conversion was so impactful that it is said to have emboldened the Muslim community and paved the way for a stronger presence in Makkah. This section will cover the key events of his early life, his initial opposition to Islam, and the radical shift in his beliefs that would set the stage for his leadership role in the Muslim community. After embracing Islam, Umar ibn al-Khattab al-Ra'i became one of the most loyal companions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. His transformation from an outspoken critic of Islam to a defender of the faith was remarkable. Umar's fierce loyalty to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and his leadership abilities quickly became evident. He was not only a courageous warrior but also an advisor who held a close relationship with the Prophet. During the lifetime of the Prophet, Umar was appointed as a trusted consultant and played a critical role in military campaigns, including the battles of Badr, Uhud, and Khandaq. His strong leadership qualities, along with his fear of Allah, made him a powerful ally to the Prophet as-Salahu alayhi. This section will discuss Ummar's role as a companion and his invaluable contributions to the early success of Islam during the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, highlighting his wisdom, strength, and dedication to Allah's message. Umar ibn al-Khattab succeeded Abu Bakr as the second Caliph after the Prophet's death. His reign from 634 to 644 CE is widely regarded as one of the most successful and transformative periods in Islamic history. Under Ummar's Ra'i leadership, the Islamic Empire expanded rapidly, stretching across the Arabian Peninsula and into Persia, Syria, Egypt, and parts of the Byzantine Empire. Umar Ra'i implemented a series of administrative reforms that not only strengthened the Islamic State, but also laid the foundation for future Islamic governance. His contributions included the establishment of an Islamic calendar, the creation of public welfare programs, and the development of a judicial system based on Islamic principles. This section will explore Ummar's strategic military campaigns, his organizational reforms, and his efforts in ensuring justice and fairness across the expanding Islamic territories. His leadership style emphasized consultation, justice, and transparency, and he became a model of Islamic governance. One of the defining features of Umar ibn al-Khattab's rule was his unwavering commitment to justice. His famous phrase, "Fear the supplication of the oppressed, for there is no barrier between it and Allah," reflects his understanding of the importance of equity and fairness in leadership. Umar is widely celebrated for his just rule, where he upheld the rights of all people, regardless of their social status, ethnicity, or religion. Under Umar's rule, the Islamic Caliphate was not just about military conquest, but also about establishing a just and fair society. He ensured the protection of the rights of non-Muslims living under Islamic rule, established a welfare system for the poor, and made sure that the rich and powerful were held accountable to the law. This section will focus on Ummar's approach to governance, his reforms in the judicial system, and his famous system of accountability that made him one of the most admired rulers in history. Umar ibn al-Khattab al-Ra'i passed away in 644 CE, but his legacy continues to influence Islamic thought and governance. His contributions to Islamic law, governance, and the expansion of the Islamic empire set a precedent for future generations. Umar Ra'i was known for his strong moral character, humility, and commitment to justice. He worked tirelessly to ensure that the welfare of his people was prioritized and that the teachings of Islam were fully implemented in governance. The lessons from Umar's Ra'i life are still relevant today, especially his commitment to justice, accountability, and social welfare. His leadership model provides a blueprint for modern Islamic governance, where justice and equity should be central. This section will reflect on the lessons learned from Umar's rule, focusing on his leadership qualities, his vision for Islamic society, and how these teachings can be applied to contemporary challenges. Umar ibn al-Khattab al-Ra'i played a crucial role in shaping the development of Islamic law, fiqh, which has become the backbone of governance and social life in the Islamic world. While the Quran provided the ultimate source of guidance, the Sunnah, the practices of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and ijma, consensus among scholars, also provided frameworks for governance. However, Ummah's contributions went beyond just the implementation of the laws. They represented an active and dynamic approach to creating a system of justice that aligned with the principles of Islam and the needs of the society at the time. Ummah Rahim was instrumental in formalizing and systematizing the practices of Islamic law in a way that maintained the balance between divine guidance and the ever-changing needs of the expanding Muslim state. His leadership and experience during military conquests and governance helped him apply Islamic law in new regions, thereby establishing a legal system that was rooted in fairness, accountability, and justice. Umar ibn al-Khattab al-Rahim was not only a military leader, but also an innovator in establishing a judicial system. Under his rule, the Islamic judicial system was formalized with a clear process for the settlement of disputes, a court system, and appointed judges, qadis, who were tasked with ensuring justice was upheld across the growing Islamic empire. A key reform introduced by Umar Ra'a was the establishment of a court system that would make decisions based on the Quran, Sunnah, and public interest, maslaha. His reforms, ensuring that the judiciary was independent and fair. Ummah's Wa'ita's emphasis on the rule of law and the accountability of judges helped establish a culture of justice, ensuring that no one was above the law, including the ruler himself. This section will explore Ummah's Wa'ita establishment of an Islamic judiciary, his handling of legal cases, his use of public consultation to ensure justice, and his legacy in ensuring that Islamic law provided a solid foundation for justice in his growing empire. One of Umar ibn al-Khattab's most significant contributions was his commitment to social welfare and the creation of a more just and equitable society. His reforms focused on improving the quality of life for all members of society, ensuring that the poor, oppressed, and marginalized were provided for. Ummah understood that a just society required more than just military victories or political control. It needed a system that ensured fairness, equality, and economic justice. He established the Bayt al-Mal, treasury, which was used to fund welfare programs for the poor, orphans, widows, and those in need. Umar Ra'a also ensured that the wealthy were taxed appropriately, particularly in land tax and zakat, to redistribute wealth and help support the less fortunate. His system of welfare programs included the provision of food, housing, and financial assistance to those in need. This section will focus on how Umar Ra'a used Islamic principles of charity and social responsibility to create a welfare state that served all members of society, particularly the vulnerable. Umar ibn al-Khattab al-Ra'i is widely remembered for overseeing one of the most remarkable military expansions in history, turning the Islamic State into a superpower within just a few years after the death of Prophet Muhammad. Under his leadership, the Islamic Empire expanded rapidly, conquering territories such as Syria, Egypt, Persia, and parts of the Byzantine Empire. However, Umar's Ra'i approach to military conquests was not just about expanding territory, it was about spreading justice and establishing Islamic rule in new lands. He encouraged the fair treatment of non-Muslims, allowing them to practice their own religions and customs as long as they paid the jizya tax and accepted the protection of the Islamic State. Umar Raya was also known for his strategic vision and tactical genius on the battlefield. His careful planning and consultation with his generals led to the successful campaigns that significantly expanded the Islamic Empire. This section will delve into Ummah's role in military strategy, the treatment of conquered peoples, and his efforts to establish justice in the newly conquered lands. Umar ibn al-Khattab's impact on Islamic history and governance remains unmatched. His rule established key principles that would influence the course of Islamic civilization for centuries. Umar's contributions to the development of Islamic jurisprudence, his reforms in social welfare, and his expansion of the Islamic Empire are just a few of the reasons why he is regarded as one of the greatest leaders in Islamic history. His humility, his dedication to justice, and his unwavering faith in Allah set him apart as a true servant leader. Umar is remembered for his unflinching commitment to making sure that Islamic principles guided his leadership, and his reforms created a system that valued justice, compassion, and accountability. This section will reflect on how Ummah's leadership has influenced generations of Muslims and provide insights into how his principles can be applied to modern leadership and governance. The lessons learned from his wisdom, compassion, and vision are invaluable in shaping Islamic governance and have universal implications for effective leadership in any context. One of the defining features of Umar ibn al-Khattab's leadership was his unwavering commitment to ensuring the welfare of the people. He took extraordinary steps to protect the rights of the most vulnerable members of society, such as orphans, widows, the poor, and the oppressed. This section explores the ways in which Umar personally and systemically ensured that these groups were given due attention and support. Ummah was known to personally check on the conditions of his people, often going out at night to ensure that the poor and needy were not overlooked. One of the most famous stories about his care for the welfare of his subjects was when he visited an elderly woman in the dark of night, unaware of her needs, and took it upon himself to ensure that she received help. His deep compassion for his people was a cornerstone of his leadership. Moreover, Umar emphasized the importance of equitable distribution of wealth and was instrumental in creating a robust welfare system. Under his leadership, a network of welfare institutions was established that provided financial assistance, food rations, and health care to the poor. His establishment of the Diwan al-Jund military pension system ensured that soldiers who had fought in the early battles of Islam were cared for in their later years. Umar ibn al-Khattab is widely praised for his progressive stance on women's rights within the context of 7th century Arabia. Despite living in a patriarchal society, he enacted reforms that significantly improved the status of women, making them more independent, protected, and respected under Islamic law. One of his significant contributions was the protection of women's rights in marriage. He implemented policies that safeguarded the rights of women in marriage contracts, making it illegal for men to force women into marriage or to mistreat them. Umar was also known for advocating for the right of women to inherit, a concept that was radical at the time in the Arabian Peninsula. Additionally, Umar was known for his respect for the voice of women in governance. On one occasion, a woman in the market corrected him when he tried to change the marriage dowry limit, and he immediately accepted her opinion, publicly admitting that she was right. This incident illustrates Ummah's humility and willingness to listen to those under his leadership, even when they were women. Umar ibn al-Khattab made significant strides in administering the expanding Islamic state. His rule marked a shift from tribal governance to a more structured administration that could manage the diverse peoples and lands under Islamic rule. He established an efficient system of governance that was rooted in Islamic principles of justice, accountability, and service to the people. To ensure that the rapid expansion of the empire was well managed, Umar appointed governors for various regions and set up a centralized bureaucracy to oversee financial matters, the collection of taxes, and the distribution of resources. He also instituted reforms such as registering the names of citizens, creating official documents for transactions, and introducing the Islamic calendar. Ummah's policy of appointing officials based on merit rather than family connections or wealth helped establish a fair and just government. He also created the office of the Muhtasib, market inspector, to ensure that the economy was fair, honest and transparent. Umar ibn al-Khattab's rule is often remembered for his uncompromising sense of justice. His leadership style was characterized by a strict but fair approach to governance, with an emphasis on accountability for all people, including those in positions of power. He famously said, "Even if a dog goes hungry on the banks of the Euphrates, I would be responsible for it," illustrating his commitment to ensuring that even the most vulnerable members of society were cared for. Ummah's approach to leadership was based on humility and service to the people, and he saw his role as that of a servant rather than a ruler. His deep sense of accountability to Allah guided him to make decisions that prioritized the welfare and justice of his people above all else. Umar was also instrumental in codifying the Islamic legal system. He established clear rules for governance and religious law that are still followed in many Muslim majority countries today. His legacy of justice continues to inspire Muslims and non-Muslims alike, reminding leaders of the importance of integrity, fairness and service to the people. The life of Umar ibn al-Khattab offers invaluable lessons in leadership, justice and faith. One of the most important lessons from his life is the importance of accountability in leadership. Umar held himself to the highest standards and worked tirelessly to ensure that justice was served, no matter how difficult or unpopular the decision. His humility, despite his position of power, is a key lesson for leaders today. Another crucial lesson from Umar's life is the importance of social welfare. His efforts to create systems of support for the poor, widows, orphans, and other marginalized groups demonstrate the Islamic principle of social justice. This commitment to the welfare of others is a hallmark of effective leadership that seeks to improve the lives of all citizens, not just those in power. Umar also exemplified the value of consultation and community involvement. Another crucial lesson from Umar's life is the importance of social welfare. His efforts to create systems of support for the poor, widows, orphans, and other marginalized groups demonstrate the Islamic principle of social justice. This commitment to the welfare of others is a hallmark of effective leadership that seeks to improve the lives of all citizens, not just those in power. Umar also exemplified the value of consultation and community involvement. His wisdom and strength to lead justly, his leadership was rooted in a sense of divine responsibility, which ensured that his decisions were guided by justice and mercy, justice and accountability. Umar emphasized the importance of justice and accountability, ensuring fair treatment for all. Social welfare, his creation of welfare programs highlighted the Islamic value of caring for the poor and vulnerable. Leadership through consultation. Shura consultation was central to Umar's era ay allegiance delek value. There was the having the fee era ay allegiance delek. Social welfare through كانت شيء ترفكتك زتوجم ترمان مجون كونشن يكنونل. Leadership through consultation, Shura consultation was central to Ummah's era ay era anam.